Alright, we're live.
Woohoo!
Alrighty.
Hello, welcome. We'll wait for people to join for just a couple minutes. Alright.
So welcome, hello. If you're joining us, we're gonna give it just a second here just to see if anybody else is gonna hop on with us just before we get started. So go ahead, grab all the things you need. We will be needing a yoga mat or somewhere probably you can lay down. Definitely grab a piece of paper and a pen. If you're like me, maybe grab your iPad if you like to write on your iPad. But definitely this is something we want you to take action on, so definitely go ahead and grab that. And we also have a downloadable PDF in the description below. So go and make sure you download that as well. That's going to keep you on track with doing all the exercises we'll be doing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry if you can hear the construction going on. We live in Spain and there's always construction. That is the number one thing we've learned. So bear with us as we figure out our audio situation. Today we'll have a little bit of construction in the background, but that's okay. Hopefully you can still hear us and hopefully there's no echo. If you're joining us live, please let us know where you're joining from. Like I said, we're here in Malaga in southern Spain. Let us know where you are.
Alrighty.
And with that, we'll go ahead and get started.
All perfect. All right, let's do this. Perfect. Well, hello everyone. My name is Alejandro.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
And we are flowing to nature over here, other side. Beautiful. Awesome. So, welcome. We're doing the Spring Clarity Workshop today. In this workshop, we really want you to help get clear on where you are and really where you want to go.
Yeah, so normally most people like to set intentions or goals at the beginning of the year, but we felt like setting them in spring made a little bit more sense when everything is blooming, when there's new growth and renewal everywhere, so the energy in nature is reflected into what we're also trying to tap into. So we can tap into that natural energy that's buzzing around, everyone's getting excited, there's more sunshine, hopefully where you are too. And so we thought this was a better time of year to really set our goals, to start moving forward in a new direction rather than in the dead of winter when all you kind of want to do is snuggle up inside and don't really have too much motivation. So hopefully we can tap into that natural energy that's buzzing around us and get going on the right direction.
Beautiful. And so today, just so you know what we're doing, first we're going to do a yin class that will be led by Nicole. And afterwards, we're going to be doing just a quick exercise called Wheel of Life. The Wheel of Life allows us to take an easy snapshot of where we currently are in our lives, and we'll look at the different categories so that you have a general idea of what you're spending your time, energy, and focus on, and if you want to continue to focus on those, or if you need to switch to a different category so that you can move in the direction that you really want to. Then we're going to be looking at our beliefs, our empowering and limiting beliefs that we may have, and being able to transform those so that they're actually working for us as well. And then at the very end, I'll guide you through a visualization so that we can kind of put it all together and make sure that you're leaving the workshop today really clear on what you want and the direction that you're going to take moving forward to get you to live the life that you really, really want. And that's ultimately what we aspire for ourselves and also for you.
Yeah, today is really all about finding that clarity and that momentum to push you forward and follow your dreams.
Wonderful. So let's go ahead, let's do some yoga. So if you have anything around you, maybe put that aside just for a second, and Nicole will guide us in.
Yeah, take your seat on the ground. We're going to be doing yin yoga today. So yin is a little bit different from other styles of yoga. Maybe you've tried vinyasa or ashtanga or something that's a little bit faster pace. Yin actually comes from a completely different lineage. It's based in traditional Chinese medicine, it comes from Taoism, and it works with the 5 elements from the Chinese traditional Chinese medicine. So we're gonna work with the the wood element, which is connected to springtime. And so it's all about renewal, growth, and new beginnings. And in the springtime and working with the wood element, it's connected to our liver and our gallbladder meridians. So to get started, we're actually going to tap open these meridians. In yin yoga, we really do yin to open our meridians, to clear out our chi energy, and to find mobility and to massage the deep connective tissue. So we're going to start with tapping open these meridians. We're going to start with our toes. We'll start on the right side. So go ahead and just rub your big toe. Like I said, this is the liver meridian that we're opening up here. And we're going to start tapping the top of the foot, passing in front of the ankle, and coming to the inside of the leg. Getting some circulation here. Coming all the way up the leg, up the inside of the knee, up the inner thigh, all the way through the hip, and the groin, coming past the liver and the gallbladder, going straight up into the ribs, and we'll stop there. Now we'll come onto the left foot, rubbing the big toe. Tapping the top of the foot, passing in front of the ankle, up the inner side of the leg, and the shin, inner side of the leg, inner thigh, coming up the groin, up the front of the body, all the way up to the rib. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the gallbladder meridian. And so we'll start with the outer corner of the right eye. Just gently rubbing the outer corner of your right eye. We'll start tapping gently above the temple, zigzagging around the ear. And then over the shoulder. You might want to use your other hand getting over the shoulder. And start getting it down the side of the body. To the waist, until the hip, and then we continue down the side of the leg, somewhere on the outside of the leg, all the way down, over the outside of the ankle, across the top of the toe, and this time we're going to end with the 4th toe, so gently rubbing your 4th toe. And now we'll do the left side. So gently rubbing the outside corner of your left eye. And we'll start tapping over the temple, behind the ear, down the head, down the neck, and then the outer shoulder, maybe using your other hand, tapping that out. Going all the way down the side body, to the hip, down the side of the leg, the outside of the leg, outside of the knee, outside of the shin, down to the ankle, coming across the top of the foot, and then gently rubbing that 4th toe. Alright, so now we have some movement, some circulation in our meridians. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the practice. So I'm going to be guiding you through, but Alejandro will be showing the postures. So we're going to start by being the length of the mat. We're going to actually open the legs out wide. Open the legs out wide. The length of the mat.
There we go.
Bring it to dragonfly pose. So I want you to open your legs all the way as much as you can. And then notice that your thighs tighten when you do this.
Very much so, yes.
So I want you to come in, bring your legs in until your legs are slack and loose and can be relaxed. In yin yoga, we really want to be at about 50% of our total flexibility to maybe getting into 80%, but we're going to be holding these postures much longer, so we don't want to be too far into them and put unnecessary stress on our joints, okay?
Understood.
So this looks good, so you want to sit up nice and tall. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Big exhale, let it go. One more breath like that, nice big inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and begin to fold forward, tucking your chin to your chest, rounding the spine. As much as feels comfortable, you can bring your arms out in front of you. And just stay wherever it feels comfortable, not going too far. Take a nice big inhale. Long, slow exhale. Throughout this class, I invite you to really focus on your breath and really focus on having a longer exhale than inhale. So slowing down that exhale, allowing your body to relax, clearing your mind. And when we work with the wood element or the springtime, what we're really working here is we're working to remove any frustration or blockages that we might have in our meridians. And these postures are meant to help us cultivate kindness and compassion for yourself and for those around you. So just take a moment and think about, where has your energy been lately? What have you been focusing on? Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Big exhale, just let it go. Release any thoughts and come back to your breath. Notice in these postures, as we sit in them, you might be able to sink a little bit deeper, maybe naturally on your exhale. Your body might release, and you might find yourself a little deeper in this posture. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. One more like that. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale, side out. And the next inhale, gently press into your hands. Slowly begin to come up out of the posture. Beautiful. Bring your hands underneath your legs and slowly close your legs. You can bring your arms behind you, shake out the legs. And then find stillness. Taking 3 big breaths here. Noticing the openness. Feeling the change of energy. When you're ready, we'll come onto our backs. The length of the mat. We're going to come into a banana pose. So move your hips over towards the left and run across the left foot over the right and bring your arms up overhead, grabbing the left hand onto the right, arms over towards the right. You want to make sure both of your shoulders are still on the mat. And really breathe into that left side body here. You can close down your eyes once you feel comfortable. And take a nice big inhale through the nose. Big exhale, release. Relaxing into this posture. Relax your jaw. Release the space between your eyebrows. Relax your shoulders. Release your hips. And just take a moment to reflect. Have you been spending your energy lately where you want to be spending your energy? Is it in the direction that you want to be going? Is your focus where you want it to be? Allow the thoughts to come up, and then just take a nice big inhale. Exhale, just let them go. Come back to your breath. Take a nice big inhale, feel your belly expanding like a balloon. Exhale through the mouth. Big inhale, breathing into your left lung. Big exhale. One more just like that. Inhale. Big exhale. Gently release your arms by your side. And cross your legs. Maybe bring your hips into the center, wiggle what you need to. And coming to a Shavasana. Taking 3 big breaths. And becoming aware of your body. How is it feeling? Notice the right side versus the left. Once you're ready, we'll come on to the other side. So scoot your hips over to the right this time. Your right foot's gonna cross over the left. And then bring your left arm grabbing onto the right. Gently reaching your arms over towards the right. You want both shoulders to be on the mat. Should be quite comfortable, so if you need to, your arms be more towards the center. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Big exhale. One more just like that, breathing into your right lung. Feeling a nice gentle stretch. Exhale. Releasing into this posture. Close down your eyes. And let your thoughts just pass by like clouds. Noticing them, but not becoming attached. We often think that we are our thoughts, but come to a place where you observe your thoughts and that they're just patterns that we've learned over time, but they don't control us. We can watch them and we can let them go. Our thoughts are often what consumes a lot of our energy. So where have your thoughts been lately? And is it where you want them to be moving forward? Where do you want your focus to be going forward? Take an inhale through your nose. Exhale, release. Release all your thoughts. Come back to your breath. Relax the jaw. to your breath. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Big, slow exhale, release the head out. Inhaling through the nose. Breathing into the belly, feeling it expand. Nice, slow exhale. Last one, just like that. When you're ready, bring your arms by your side. Slowly uncross your legs. Coming back to Shavasana. Taking any movements, any wiggles you need to. And take 3 big breaths here. Noticing how your body feels, how your mind feels. Maybe feeling your palms, noticing tingling sensation. We'll come into our last posture here. We'll be taking a happy baby. So bend into your knees. And we'll be sitting in happy baby. So maybe you don't want to take your extreme version grabbing onto the bottoms of the feet. You might want to grab onto behind the thighs, maybe the knees, behind the knees. You could always grab the ankles or the bottoms of the feet. We want to press the full spine onto the back, onto the mat, including the low spine. And find wherever feels comfortable. Personally, I like to grab behind the thighs, but it's whatever feels good to you. We'll take a nice big inhale, big exhale. One more inhale. One more exhale. Melt your spine onto the earth. Feeling nice and supported by the ground below you. And as we move forward, it's important to remember to be grateful for what we already have. So I invite you to take a moment to just think of something that you're really grateful for right here, right now. Feel it in your heart. And send that feeling of gratitude throughout your body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. And slowly release your legs. Coming back to Shavasana. Take any wiggles you might like. And we'll play a little sound bowl while we sit in Shavasana. Let your legs fall out to the side, palms face up. Gently tuck your shoulders underneath. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Release your cheeks. Relax your tongue. Let go of your shoulders. Let go of your belly and your breath. Release your hips, your knees, your ankles, even your toes. Relax your elbows, your wrists, and your fingers. Let go of any thoughts and just be. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose. Big exhale, sigh it out. One more just like that. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Gently drop your chin side to side. Slowly begin to awaken the body, wiggling the toes and the fingers, rolling out the wrists and the ankles. Maybe you might want to take a nice big good morning stretch. Reach the arms up overhead, toes to touch. Maybe lifting a little spine off the mat. Nice big sigh. Bring your knees into your chest. Roll onto your favorite side. I always like to take a moment to give gratitude to Mother Earth for all that she provides. If there's any other gratitudes you would like to take, perhaps an intention you would like to set, or anything you just want to let go of and leave here on your mat, I invite you to do that now. And once you're ready, we'll sit up nice and slow into a comfortable seat. And we'll end this yoga session with a community breath. So sit up nice and tall, bring your hands to your heart center, root your sit bones into the earth, reach your head up towards the sky, finding length. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale, sigh out. And we gently bow our head forward with gratitude and with joy. Thank you for floating with me. All right, how did that feel?
I feel much more relaxed now.
Good. And if you're here live, let us know in the chat how you're feeling after that yoga class. After yin, and if yin is new for you, let us know too.
Also, if you have a little bit of water, good time. Take a little sip.
Yeah, always important to hydrate. Grab your notebook.
Awesome. So, I know that, well, maybe this is the first time doing yin for you, or or maybe you've done it before and now you're just feeling really, really relaxed. So we did that on purpose. We wanted to get you out of a stressful, out of a maybe an anxiety state. So what we're really doing is we're allowing ourselves to become really present. As we do that, what we're doing is we're changing our energetic state. And so now when we're in a place that we feel a whole lot more calm, a whole lot more peaceful, we come up with a different energy in order to be able to do exercises. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to let you kind of take a second just to kind of process that, and I'm going to share a little story with you. So back in about 2015, I'm trying to get it's been a while, I was really, really lost. I really didn't know what I wanted to do at all. I had a job that I wasn't really happy in. I was started my first company and we were doing well, but the job that I was in really didn't feel like it was fulfilling. It really didn't satisfy me. I was just, I was waking up not wanting to go to work, and then come back and be like, oh, I don't even want to go back tomorrow. It was hard to wake up, and maybe you've been there, maybe you haven't, but there was a real struggle because I wasn't really enjoying what I was doing in my life, especially in the job. My dad luckily invited me to a personal development seminar, which was led by Tony Robbins, and it absolutely changed and transformed my life. And what ended up happening was that while we were in this personal development seminar, one, there's a lot of energy happening and there's a lot of shifting of energy. But a lot of what he really helps you do is to find clarity. to ask you deeper questions than maybe the regular conversations you just have on a daily basis. It's a time and a place for you to really dive deep and go into introspection of what you really want. And a lot of that really has to do with a technique that's called map. And the map is basically, imagine a GPS. And in order to go anywhere, the first thing that we need to tell any GPS is where we are, right? So if I'm here and then I want to go to the grocery store, right? I know where the grocery store is, but if I don't know where I am, maybe I'll just zigzag my way all the way to the grocery store. You might get there, but know that there is an easier way, more of a direct line to go. And what really came up for me as we were doing this is I knew that I was unhappy. I knew that where I was and it wasn't where I wanted to be. The work that I was doing didn't feel fulfilling. I was doing a good job at work, but at the same time, it wasn't fulfilling. I wasn't happy on the inside. What ended up happening is my body, after about 6 months, I actually ended up shutting down and I wasn't able to walk. But from there, what really stemmed was that I was looking for something more. And during the seminar, one of the things that I really realized is that I really love helping people. And through that trajectory, I understood that one of the ways that I ended up helping was I do yoga, and I've done a lot of that over the last 10 years. But at the same time, what really drives me now is that I became a life coach. And it's something similar to what Tony does. Tony uses different resources. But for me, I really understood the power of energy and what happens when we change our energy like we just did, from maybe being really, maybe you're just waking up and you might be doing this in the morning, or you might be like us doing this in the afternoon after we've come back from work. But we need to understand that we can change our energy, and sometimes that just means taking a couple breaths, changing our focus into something else. But as we're able to do that and put ourselves in a place that we feel comfortable, that we feel safe, allows us to really dive deeper into exploring what it is that we truly want. Hopefully you're breathing a little bit slower. Hopefully you're a little bit more centered. You feel a little bit more present with your own body. And all of that's going to help us into going into this next exercise. So know that what we're trying to do is really to allow us to change that emotional state that we're in into a place that we feel safe, that we feel comfortable. And from there we're going to go, okay, now that I know that I'm safe, that I'm comfortable, that I can do all these things, let's explore where we are. So as I do that, I'm going to switch us out over here, and hopefully you can see us. So this is the PDF that we have in the description below in case you want to go ahead and download it if you have not done that. And basically the first one, obviously we're doing the Spring Clarity Workshop. So I'm just going to move us down into the second page. And I know that this might be a little hard or a little tricky to see. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Okay. So hopefully that's a little bit bigger for you. Hopefully you can see it. And I know that we might be in the way we are blocking out one of the categories, but that's perfectly okay. So we're going to do this with you. And when I say I'm going to do this with you, I am doing this with you. The idea of this is that we workshop it. The Wheel of Life allows us to look at different categories that we have, and we can look at how we feel about each one right now. So if you look at the very top of the wheel, right underneath where it says Wheel of Life, it says, how fulfilled are you in each category of your life? And that really refers to today. If you haven't downloaded this, or if you don't have an iPad like me, and you'll see that I'm writing on it in a second, you can do just what Nicole is doing and just grab a piece of paper, draw a circle, divide it into 8 categories, and one of those categories you're going to divide them into 2, which is our relationship. So I'm just going to read these read them for you, just in case you're creating the circle right now. The first one is emotional well-being. Second one is physical health. Third is career and business. Your fourth is your awareness. Number 5 are your finances. Number 6 is time management. 7 is discipline. And our last, number 8, is relationships. I know that relationships gets divided into 2. One is going to be our intimate relationships, if you have a spouse, a partner, a loved one that you are with. And the other half of that is going to be our friends and family. So this is very simple. Sometimes we tend to really overthink this, as I've done this with clients before. What we really want to do is just trust yourself, trust your intuition, and honestly trust that first number that really pops into your head. And know that as I ask you the question, we're trying to establish how you feel today, not how you want to feel a month or a year from now. This is just a snapshot to understand where we currently are, that first part of that map. So I'm going to start us off with emotional well-being. And in emotional well-being, I'm going to say, okay, how well or how satisfied am I with my emotional well-being? And I'm going to say, okay, emotionally, I know that on a regular basis, not a lot of things get to me. I'm pretty in control of my emotions, something that I really do a lot of work on. I'm going to say I'm in a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you'll see that this will probably change on the screen here in just a second. And so I would color that in, and maybe you write the number 7 either inside of the circle or outside of the circle. Doesn't really matter. So that's probably filling in for you, and that's kind of what it's going to look like. And we're going to do that with every category of our lives. So that was our emotional well-being. Number 2 is physical health. For me personally, we take care of quite a bit of our health, and we eat really healthy. So I'm going to say I'm at an 8. So one more than I had before. There we go. And same thing, color it in. Maybe it doesn't have to look perfect. I have the ease of an iPad, so that helps me as well. If you're really, really creative and you want to make this really extravagant with colors and all that, please go ahead and do so. But for sake of time, I'm going to make this a little quicker today. Wonderful. Our career and our business. I'm going to say, at least for me, it's going to be a 6. So I'm going to come around here in our 6. And again, just fill that out. Keep going. And again, just trust yourself. How do you feel today? How satisfied are you with your awareness? How present do you feel? Do you feel like your concentration is regularly being taken away? For me, I'm going to say it's about a 7. Again, this is something that we regularly are working on, trying to become really present, not only in yoga, but in everyday lives with the conversations we have, the people we are with. So that's me. All right, next one is finances. And finances, I would say probably around a 5 for me, maybe a 4, maybe a 5 for me. I'm going to write it down as a 5, that's okay. I have been missing out the numbers here, so I'm just going to write these in. Okay. So I have this one was 7, and this one was a 6. All right, next section that we have is time management. Know that time management is the one that we might be blocking here on your screen. Time management, how do you do with your time? Is it controlled? Do you feel like you take a lot of time doing things? So on and so forth. So how well do you manage your time? And then I'm going to come back maybe like around a 6 for me on that one. There we go. Next category is our discipline. How disciplined and how fulfilled are you with how disciplined you are in your life? For me on that one, I'm going to say a 5. And again, these are real. This is exactly how I'm feeling today. We are doing this on April 2nd. So looking at my clock just to see, make sure I'm not missing out on the days. That's a number 5 on my discipline. The last 2 categories we have is relationships, but I'm going to say friends and family. Friends and family, I'm going to say I'm about an 8. So that's right there. And an intimate relationship, I'm also going to say an 8. So hopefully your wheel kind of looks now something like this. You have it filled out. Most likely it is not going to look exactly like mine, and that's actually a good thing, right? Because you are not me and I am not you, and mine and Nicole's is also going to look very different. And so the idea of this is, okay, let me go ahead and just change color here. And what I want you to do is kind of just draw the outline of the circles that have been painted in. So as we do this, and you'll see this change briefly here on your screen, at least what mine looks like. Awesome. So now I have the whole wheel, and I can see which categories, at least for me, because I'm going to do this for me so that you can use it as an example. My top categories are physical health, my intimate relationship, and my friends and family, and then with number 7s, I have both awareness and emotional well-being. So those, I would say, are the categories in my life that I am spending the most amount of time, energy into, right? I know that I do a lot, at least for my physical health, that has to do with doing yoga, doing a little bit of workouts. I play paddle with friends. We eat healthy. All of that has to do with my physical body and my physical energy that I have. And a lot of that also comes with, the relationship. We're constantly talking, having good conversations on where we're going, where we are, with my friends, with my family, making sure I stay in touch with them and checking in on them as well. And then I can see, okay, my lower categories for me are my finances and my discipline. So those are the two categories that I probably spend the least amount of time. Not necessarily that I avoid, maybe I do avoid them for certain things, but those are the ones that I'm spending the least amount of time trying to currently in today to grow them, to make sure that I'm spending more time to bring them up. And what this wheel of life really allows us and shows us is, if this were the wheel on your car, how smooth is your ride, right?
Mine's a lot bumpier than yours.
Hers is a little bumpier than mine. That's perfectly okay, right? And if I were to look at the first time I ever did this wheel of life, it's going to look totally different. And that's perfectly okay, because I'm not who I was. In 2015 was the first time I did this, and so I've been doing this for quite a while. So I'm going to stop talking here for just a second and pass it over to Nicole. Nicole, can you tell us what are maybe the top categories that you have and maybe the bottom categories that you have?
Yes, my highest categories are awareness, discipline, and my intimate relationships.
And what number are those at?
Those are all at 8.
Okay, those are at 8. Wonderful.
And then my lowest categories are going to be career and finances, and those are both out of 4.
Career and finances both out of 4.
And I think those are quite tied together, so.
And they are tied together, right? And we are one person. I love that Nicole said that they're tied together because we're one person. And so we're all whole, right? It's not that just because your ride is a little bumpy doesn't mean that you're not whole. And we are perfect just the way we are. And a lot of that is going to come to, okay, if I want to make sure that I'm growing in a certain direction, okay, I need to know, okay, I am at a 5 with my finances. Nicole was at a 4, I believe, with her finances, right? And so that's just everyone's perception and how you feel with where you are and how much space you want to give yourself also to grow. And what's beautiful about this is going, okay, I know where I am. First part of the map, where are you? So hopefully you fill this out along with us. If you need a little bit more time, go ahead, fill it out. Maybe if you need to know that you can pause it.
Maybe comment which are your 2 top categories and which are your 2 bottom categories.
Absolutely. And let us know how you feel, right? And that's, again, hopefully this exercise is to give you a snapshot. Do this with no judgment. Do this in a way that it wants to inform you where you are. Because if not, if we don't know where we can take the first step forward. And that's really what we want to do in helping you find more and more clarity. And so the beautiful thing about this is now that we've done the Wheel of Life, we're going to scroll down here just a little bit, and you're going to see these 2 identical squares that we have, or rectangles. And what they say is, I will focus on. So this is really where we're going to start looking at what steps we want to start taking. And so let's go ahead and fill this out. I'm going to fill out one, and then I'll pass it on to Nicole for her to fill out as well. And so let's say for me, what do I really want to focus on? And you can choose any category that you want. We're just going to fill out 2. So if you want to focus on a category you're not doing so well in, perfect. If you want to focus on a category you're already doing really well in, perfect as well. I'm going to do this. I want to be more vulnerable with you, and I want to really dive deep into this. So I'm going to focus on my discipline. So I'm going to write in right here. So it says, I will focus on, and I'm going to focus on right there. I'm just going to write discipline. Right? And my current level of discipline right now, I am at a level 5. So what does my next level look like? Right? And a lot of us, we have maybe really big expectations of all the things that we want to do. And what that really does for us is it creates more overwhelm or more stress or more anxiety. And we really want to take this easy, take this nice and slow. Right? Part of going into the yin yoga was calming ourselves down. So let's stay calm, but let's figure out what is my next step. And that next step is you're just going to add a +1 to whatever number you had. So I had a 5. My next level is a 6. And so now I'm trying to define for myself what that next level looks like. And so my discipline right now, what can I do to increase my discipline? So the first thing that comes to mind, and I told yourself earlier, trust your intuition, so this is really what's coming up for me. For me to focus more and more on my discipline, I can do probably 2 things. One, the first thing that came to mind was spending more time doing what I said I'm going to do, right? And what does that mean? That means that when I say go, I go. And one of the things that I've really wanted to do recently a whole lot more is reading. And so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read. And of course I want to make my goals really specific. So I want to read at least 30 minutes a day, right? When can I schedule those in? Maybe I can schedule them in and try to wake up a little bit early in the morning and do them there. Maybe I can do them while I'm taking a break after I've had lunch. We're both teachers, so after I come back from school. So giving myself options to see where that could really work. So I'm going to write here in the morning. And I'm also going to write maybe lunch break. Awesome. And another thing that comes to mind, at least for me, because I'm trying to realize what my options are in order to move that from a 5 to a 6. The other part of that is decreasing social media time. And by social media time, at least personally for me, that is how much I'm scrolling, how much I'm consuming media, whether that's social media, YouTube, movies, shows, all the above. And so I'm going to say lower consuming media. A lot of what we want to do, since again we're trying to make these really specific, is okay, how am I going to be able to measure and track this? So thankfully my phone tracks how much social media time I use. So what I would like to do is go in today and I would say, all right, first thing I'm going to do is check how much social media I've been using maybe over the last week or 2, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. And I want to lower that number by, I'm going to say, at least 30%. So that to me sounds doable. That to me sounds like me putting myself in charge. And that to me goes, okay, these are actions that I can take that is going to move my discipline from a 5 to a 6. And what that really allows me to do is go, okay, I have 2 options right now. Maybe you write 3, maybe you write 4. Try not to go crazy because again, we're not trying to go into that overwhelm and try to stress ourselves about we have too many things to do. I gave myself 2 options and I can look at these and go, okay, I think going in and reading is gonna help me in my discipline. It's gonna help me with my awareness, with my becoming present and doing the things that I want to do. And I'm gonna maybe try reading in the morning, or maybe I try reading during my lunch break and see which one works better. And I want to lower my social media consumption. I have to tell myself no, and I can put reminders on my phone or use the technology in the way that is going to serve you best. And how you decided to move yourself forward in this category. And so those are the 2 options for me. Those are the 2 options that I know that can move me a little bit further forward. and I'm going to say yes to that. I want to put myself in a good place and say, I can put myself in a number 6 in my discipline, and I know that I am disciplined enough to do this. The fact that you're sitting here, the fact that you're doing this allows me and tells me that you are willing to commit to yourself, to push yourself with clarity in the direction that you really want to go. So hopefully that answers how to do the first square. So that was the first area of mine. I did discipline. I'm going to hand this to Nicole.
All right.
And there you go. And so Nicole's going to fill out the second side with you.
Okay, so for me, my 2 lowest categories were career or finances, and I think today I will choose career.
All right.
And so we did this last weekend. It's interesting to see how it's already shifted a little bit from last week to this week. And I think if you did this every single day, you might find different things. So it's really cool to be able to take a snapshot of this moment right now. So something I really want to focus on is my career. I'm currently at a 4. My next level will be a 5. And how I want to focus on my career, actually yesterday I made an investment in a new program to grow my career. And so my next level looks like so when I set new goals for myself, my rule is to make new habit is I do something every single day. If I miss one day, I can miss one day, but I can't miss 2 days. So that's my rule is I'm going to work on this program every day. If I miss one day, I won't miss 2 days. So I'm going to work on program without missing 2 days. And then...
And I'm going to stop Nicole really quickly here. Do you think just by doing that, do you think that would move your career from a 4 to a 5?
Yeah, probably, actually.
So sometimes the first idea that we have, and just because I know which program she bought, right? I know that if she does that, and she's reading the materials, watching the videos, and there's live events and whatnot, it's all that program in and of itself can be quite a bit of work, right? So the idea is also to make sure that she's not overwhelming herself, to make sure that she can create that progress. That progress, the little steps that we take, are what continuously make us feel happier in our lives. So, do you want to write another one, or would you rather just leave it with that one?
I think leaving this one is actually quite good. Because I think that in itself is actually quite a mission.
Right? And that's kind of why I stopped her there, because I kind of sensed that from her, where when she wrote it, I was like, I think that would push her there already. So maybe ask yourself that, right? Do you need one thing just to move you forward, and that's perfect? Do you need 2 things to move you forward? And again, we're trying to keep this simple. We're trying to keep this short and put these things that you can do that are really attainable for you. We're not trying to jump, for me, from that discipline from a 5 to a 10 and be a total Zen monk master. That's not where I'm going, right? I want to make sure that I'm making progress. That progress is what's going to keep me moving. That's going to make sure that I can evaluate once I feel like I'm actually at that 6. I can go maybe, okay, I feel like I'm at a 6 now with my discipline. And same with Nicole. That's what's going to move her into feeling that that's a 5. And maybe even when she finishes the program, maybe that 5 might be already a 6 or a 7 because of the amount of work that she's going to put into it. Maybe it still feels like a 4, maybe it still feels like a 5. Again, she'd have to evaluate that at that time. All right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let me just ask Nicole, is there something else you would like to add from this? Like, how are you feeling with this exercise?
Yeah, no, I feel like I know exactly where I want to be working on, and I feel like I know myself. I hope you guys do too. Let us know which category you want to work on coming forward, and what number you're going to start from, and what number you want to move forward to. So if you're doing this along with us, I'd love to know, or if you're doing this as a replay, put it in the comments, and we'll check back in with you in a bit and maybe in a week or two and see how you're doing.
All right. And then just before we move on, I want to explain just one more thing with this, because you might have put in one of your categories as a level 10. So I'm going to steal this back from you, and I'm going to, so that you can see what this looks like. There we go. So I'm going to do this with a different color just so that you can see it. Let's say what would have happened if I would have grabbed, let's say, my top category, and I'm going to say this is the example right here, is physical health is a 10, or whichever category you might have selected is a level 10. And that's perfectly fine. We can feel like we are entirely and fully satisfied with an area and category of our lives in this moment. And that's beautiful. That means you're putting a lot of time, a lot of energy to making sure that you're taking care of that area. And what ends up happening is you might say, okay, Alejandro, but where can I grow that area? And what's going to end up happening is if you do the Wheel of Life today, let's say maybe you do it again either in a month or maybe next season, and you have it at a 10 again, and you go, I'm doing the same things, I feel like I'm taking really good care of myself, how can I grow that area even more? So what you would do is you would make that 10 and you would bring it down. So basically, it's not necessarily that you're lowering your standards, you're just giving yourself room to grow. Your standards are still going to stay the same, right? I hope you're not lowering your values. We're trying to raise them, if anything. And that 10 might become an 8 or a 9. And basically what you're doing is going, okay, where can I continue to grow in this area? And again, that's only if that area wants to continue to grow. Because if you feel like you're at 10, you're probably doing things really, really well, and that's perfectly fine. And you might just want to go and shift your focus to a different category. And let's say I'm going to use, since I use physical health as an example, you're probably eating really well. You're probably really disciplined about your health, not eating sweets. You're meditating, you're going to the gym or doing your workouts, and you really take care of that category. And what you want to use is you're going to use that category as an example for others. I've never met anybody in my life that has 10s all around. That would be fantastic, and if you do, let us know down below, because we want to definitely learn from what you're doing. But we all have our struggles, right? As I do this, you might feel like it's a 10 today, and maybe you do this in 4 months or maybe next year, and that category might even be your lowest. You just never know what life is going to come around and hand to you. So hopefully that helps, just in case you did put something at a 10. And then just to give you another idea, we're only doing 2 categories today, but if you really, really wanted to dive super deep into this, you could actually go in and fill out every single category and look at, okay, what does the next level of every category look like for you? And that's just going to give you more clarity, and it's going to give you more things to work on, and also which things you can actually say no to, because the beautiful thing is the wheel is tied all together, right? If I'm focusing on my discipline and elevating that discipline, I know that that's also going to help me in my emotional well-being. It's going to help me in my career and my business, because I'm probably focusing on that as well. My awareness will probably go up. That ties again with my finances and my time management. So it's all tied together, which is the beautiful part. And same question for Nicole, if you were to elevate your career from a 4 to a 5, which categories do you think that influences?
Yeah, I definitely think it'll influence my emotions, because I'll probably feel a bit more confident, my discipline, and I would say probably my time.
Right, so again, so it's tied together and it works together with the other categories, right? And so just make sure that you're paying attention to at least 2 of them. I would really recommend 2, because they're going to have an influence over all the other categories as well. If you have any other questions with this, let us know down below and we'll answer as soon as we can, or in the comments, just because we really want to make sure that you're getting this, and this is really important before we jump into our next section, which let's go ahead and dive into it.
Okay.
All right.
So So now we're going to be working on our empowering beliefs. So now that we've decided what area of our life we want to focus on, we're going to really hone into one of those two categories. And once we choose an area of our life that we want to work on and we want to grow into, a lot of times what happens is some negative thoughts or maybe limiting beliefs might come up. And limiting beliefs are those beliefs that we have kind of picked up along the way in our lives where we kind of think negatively about ourselves, or we think we might not be able to do certain things just because of previous experiences that have happened to us. So it kind of knocks down our confidence in certain things that we do. So I have an example. After I finished my yoga teacher training, which was something I had dreamed of doing for so many years, I finally did it. I was so excited, and I was so scared to teach. I had just spent all these months and hours learning, teaching. I had already been practicing for over 6 years, and I was not applying for jobs. I was not doing anything that was actually going to get me into a studio to teach because my limiting beliefs were so strong. I didn't think that I had enough knowledge. I didn't think that I was good enough to teach. I didn't think anyone would come to my classes. I didn't think I could be hired by a studio because I didn't have the experience as a teacher. And so after I finished my teacher training, a couple months went by where I wasn't teaching, and Alejandro knew that I really wanted to teach. So he was like, hey, like, what's going on? Why aren't you teaching? Why aren't you applying? And I was like, I'm really scared. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm good enough. And so we kind of sat down and we actually looked at what was stopping me from moving forward. And so taking the time to stop and say, like, okay, like, why am I not taking action when I know I want to do something, like, but I'm not doing it? What is stopping me from doing that? So we took a look, and I was like, my limiting belief was that I wasn't good enough. Well, I'm new at something, so of course I'm not going to be perfect. So we took that limiting belief, I'm not good enough, to, okay, I'm learning, I'm practicing. We turned it into an empowering belief. So something that I know is true, it's usually maybe an I am statement, and it's something that's true about myself that I know to be true, and that will make me believe in myself, that I know is true and that I know will help me move forward. So I went from I'm not good enough to, okay, I'm practicing. I know that I will practice and I will get better, because everything in practice gets better. I didn't think that I knew enough, like I didn't have enough knowledge. But the truth was, I knew everything. I've been practicing for years. I had all of the knowledge. I knew everything that I needed to. And so I actually did have the knowledge. I knew enough. I am good enough. And so it was just facing each of those limiting beliefs and turning them into ways that I knew I could move forward. And so after I changed some of these beliefs, we went to the park by our house and we started teaching yoga together. And so it's just taking those beliefs that are in your mind, changing them, and then taking the action and following through. So we're gonna start here to like discover what those empowering beliefs are, because sometimes it actually might be hard to know what beliefs are stopping you. So we're gonna take one of the categories from up above that you want to work on, and we're going to complete this sentence in the dark orange circle. It says, if I had unlimited time and resources, I would. And so for me, mine was career. So if I had unlimited time and resources, I would, for my career, I would teach yoga full time. I would be a full-time yoga teacher. So change the color here. I would be a full-time yoga teacher. Maybe teaching online, not sure how that looks, but I would be a full-time yoga teacher. Okay, so now that you have identified what it is that your next goal is with the area of your life, we're going to spend 5 minutes and we're going to write down that we have what it is that we're looking for. So now in that yellow box on the left, I would write, I am a full-time yoga teacher. And I'm just gonna write it over and over again. And I know, because I've done this multiple times, once you start writing it, some thoughts will come into your mind, some of those limiting beliefs or negative thoughts. And so as those negative thoughts come up, just write them in that left column that says limiting beliefs. So if I start writing, I am a full-time yoga teacher. My limiting beliefs, something that would come up would be, I don't have enough students. Okay, and so that's something that came into my mind as I started writing it. Like, I'm a full-time yoga teacher, and some negative thoughts start coming up. Just to let you know, the first time I did this, I actually couldn't even finish the 5 minutes. I changed what I wrote because I didn't believe in myself enough. Like, the empowering beliefs or the limiting beliefs were so strong that I couldn't even finish writing it. I changed what I had because I didn't believe I could do it. And so if that happens to you, that's okay. Maybe set your goal a little bit lower and you can come back to it. I tried writing it and then I stopped, I cleared my mind, and I set a new goal that maybe felt a little bit more realistic or maybe a little bit more aligned to my heart. And I just came back to it. So it's okay if you start and you realize, oh wait, maybe this isn't actually what I want, or maybe this isn't where I feel I can reach. And that's okay. Like, I don't want you to feel bad if that happens to you, because it's happened to me. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and for 5 minutes, we're just gonna keep writing whatever it is that you want to be or you want to have, and write it as if you already have it. Okay, did you wanna add something before we start?
Nope, just don't stop writing. I have the timer here,
Oh, you have
and
it?
I got it. So we're just gonna write and just keep writing what you want, 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 and notice if anything crosses your mind. And maybe you're doing this just like me on a piece of paper. Just draw a line down the middle, and that way you have 2 areas to write. You always want to be able to see this and move really quickly between one and the other. And ready?
All right,
Set.
let's go.
Let's do it. All right. Keep writing, you got it. Keep going. About halfway. One minute left. You can do it. Last 10 seconds.
All right, and I'm out of space anyway.
All right. 2, 1. Perfect.
All right, so you can go ahead and stop writing now. Just take a moment and see what it feels like to actually be or have what it is that you want. Like, it's kind of cool to imagine, and I hope that we will achieve that one day soon, for you and for me. And so we'll take a moment and to look at some of these limiting beliefs, or they might just be negative thoughts that came up, any thoughts that came up while you were writing. And if you didn't have any, that's wonderful. I hope that for you. But if you did have any limiting beliefs, this is what we're gonna do. So for me, my first limiting belief that came up when I said I am a full-time yoga teacher was I don't have enough students. Okay, so right now I don't have enough students, but my empowering belief is I can attract the right students and the students who want to come to my class. So maybe right now I don't have enough students, but my empowering belief is I can attract students to come to my classes. So I can attract students to come to my classes. Okay, and my second one is a little bit similar. No one will sign up for my classes, okay? And so, no one will sign up for my classes. Well, my empowering belief would be similar to the first one, actually. I mean, I don't have enough students and no one will sign up for my classes. They're kind of coming from the same belief that I'm not good enough or that people won't come. And so, my empowering belief would be I can attract students to come to my classes, or I can attract the right people. The right students. And I know this to be true because I attract so many people in my life. I have wonderful people who are in my life who support me, and I'm always meeting wonderful people who are like-minded and who like the same things as me. So I know that there will be other students who will vibe with me, who will like my style of teaching, who will like what I'm able to teach. And so I know that to be true. I know I can attract the right students. I've had classes before. I've also had classes where nobody has come and it wasn't the end of me. But I know that if I put in enough effort, if I put in enough passion, I can attract the right students. Okay, so my other limiting belief is I can't make enough money to live. All right, that's definitely one of my fears of trying to become a full-time yoga teacher. But my limiting belief is I can't make enough money to live. My empowering belief is I am resourceful. I am a really good learner. I know exactly what I need to do to get things done, and I'm disciplined. So I'm resourceful. I know that it might take a lot of time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take energy, but I have the resources. I know how to use those resources. And so maybe I can't get enough money to live off it right now, but I know that if I put the energy, if I put the effort in, I'm resourceful enough to make that happen. Okay, so that went from a limiting belief to an empowering belief. And then the last one, it's not what I went to school for. And so for me, this one's more about feeling judgment. I studied groundwater and geology, which is not yoga at all. And so this is a complete 180 pivot from what I spent many years studying, putting all my time and energy into. And to make a big 180 pivot is quite big. And so one of my limiting beliefs is that maybe people will judge me for leaving that industry, which I've already left mostly. I still work a bit doing that, but this is kind of taking it one step further, trying to become a full-time yoga teacher, and so it's not what I went to school for as a limiting belief. The empowering belief is, well, I can still use that knowledge, and also, I'm also studying yoga, so I can study more than one thing. I can change, I can pivot. So limiting beliefs is not what I went to school for, okay. My empowering belief is I love to learn. I am a great student. I don't need to settle on just one thing. I'm a wonderful student, so it's okay that I went to school for something else and now I'm studying a different thing, a different subject. So I studied geology and now I'm studying yoga because I'm a great student and I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to pivot and try different things. I am not in a box, and so that's my new empowering belief. Okay, so now I hope you kind of get the idea of what we're looking at and how we're able to change our limiting beliefs, find something that's true within yourself, and turn it into an empowering belief. Alejandro, would you like to share what what it is that you have or you are now, and then what one of your limiting beliefs that you have turned into an empowering belief is?
Awesome. So I wrote, if I had unlimited time and resources, I would teach and travel the world. And I found it really funny because as I was writing it, I felt like I was changing it. And again, perfectly okay. It's still pretty much at the end said the same thing, but it was just I want to travel and teach everywhere. And I want to travel and teach everywhere. I want to travel and teach everywhere. So some came up similar to Nicole, so I'll kind of skip those. The ones that were similar to Nicole, I also wrote that we don't have a big following. And which one was the other one that was similar? I don't have the resources, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. So those were very similar in the way that just because they're similar, just to differentiate, I guess.
So how did you turn those limiting beliefs that were similar into the same? Like how did it become an empowering belief for you? Was that the same or was it different?
So what I wrote is we don't have a big following. I wrote the same. I attract clients, and part of my personal mission is growth and healing. So I wrote I attract clients that want to grow and heal. So it was very similar, but still has my kind of twist to it, or my essence in it as well, right? So I attract clients that want to grow and heal, but it is an attraction thing. The other one that I had written down was I don't have the resources, I don't have the money, but I actually wrote I am resourceful, and I also wrote I can find a way. If you really, really, truly desire it, I know you can find a way, and I know I'm going to find it too, and so will Nicole. And I wrote, I don't have the time. Right now we're teachers, and so it's not like we can just travel and go anywhere and every day, wherever we want. But the truth is, I have nothing but time. So time is the only thing that is our finite resource. So trying to make the most out of it and trying to work our way in that time. And that kind of ties again back to the first exercise we did on how I felt with my time management. And you go, okay, if my time management is low, probably I also have limiting beliefs around that. The others that I did write, and I guess I'll share just one more, just so that we're not going over time here. I wrote, who would come and see me? Kind of me, like I don't have enough to teach. Or the other one that I wrote down is, what would I teach? Right? Like that I don't have a program. So I actually wrote that I'm a program creator, because, and the other part of that was, I am an amazing yogi that has a lot to offer. Right? I've been doing this for a really long time, and a lot of, instead of letting the weed come in, I guess let's call it, and having that weed grow inside my brain, what I'm trying to do is cut that weed off and being able to nurture a different thought that is empowering, that helps me move me into where I really want to go, and aligning that with the goals that I'm setting for myself. How do I make sure that I'm getting better at my time management and my discipline, especially? So I guess those were the ones that I wrote down. I think Nicole mentioned this as well, right? Make sure that you are writing your empowering beliefs as either I statements or I am statements. And what that does is it ties it into our identity, right? It's who we believe we are is how we're gonna act accordingly, right? If I continuously doubt myself, if there's a limiting belief, then that's not helping me move me forward. I need to make sure that the thoughts, what I'm continuously focusing on, is somebody that is resourceful, somebody that is a good story, somebody that is a good yogi, right? That I do have the time, that I am resourceful. I am telling myself these things, and we have to make sure that they dive deep enough into the grooves of our brain, right, to make sure that they become an empowering belief. You really need to believe them, right? And that's why they're called beliefs. So yeah, those were mine.
It's funny, as you were talking, I like even realized, like, for my last limiting belief, something that even feels stronger for me as an empowering belief. It's not what I went to school for. Like, I'm allowed to change my mind. Like, I feel like for me as an empowering belief, that's something that I don't think I ever realized. Like, I'm allowed to change my mind. I don't have to stay where I was or to be in the same path that I thought I needed. Like, I'm allowed to change my mind. It's fine. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Like, this is your life, and you can make the most out of it in whatever feels authentic and good to you. So if you're here live, I invite you to share maybe one of your empowering beliefs. And if you're doing a replay, comment on one of your empowering beliefs. And yeah, we'd love to see how you are feeling yourself up, and good luck on your dream.
Right, and one of the things that Nicole said, right, the fact that she is changing her mind and that she's allowed to change her mind, that might come from a limiting belief that was maybe set to you when you were really young. And that has a hold on us, and it doesn't allow us any wiggle room, right? On not just what maybe her career path is, but, oh, I don't like strawberries, and I said that when I was young, and that, like, as I carry on through my life, I might continue with that belief, and I see a strawberry and I go, ew, right? And that's, how does that really affect me? And obviously I'm using the example of a strawberry, right? That might not change your life, but maybe one day you do try a strawberry and your mind goes, wow, how am I been missing on this my whole life, right? So, and that may be just something really, really small that you might believe that, oh, it actually doesn't really affect me, but it might actually have an effect on you in the long term. So making sure that you stay open to change, right? To creating something new, to aligning and listening to who you are and where you really want to go. So that's what these exercises are really meant to do, right? To get an idea of where you are, which areas you can grow in, and how you want to grow in them. Notice that we gave you examples, and hopefully that may spark something, and you may go, oh, actually, Nicole said she's resourceful, I might copy that, and that's perfect, copy it. There's nothing, we're not, creating trade secrets here, right? The idea is that we're openly sharing this with you so that you too can find more clarity, and you too can grow. And if we bounce ideas off of each other, right, that helps us all. It doesn't just help me, but it helps Nicole, and it might help you. And if you comment on something down below that we're like, that is genius, I'm gonna steal that, I'm gonna let you know I am stealing this, right? And so that's the whole point of why we're doing these workshops, is so that we can continue to focus on different categories, different areas, and we can transform limiting beliefs into empowering ones to live a life that you are ultimately and truly fulfilled with. And at the end of the day, I think part of our mission and why we're doing this is to not to help others, but to help others live a beautiful, happy, joyful, fulfilling life, a place that they want to wake up every morning and make sure that that's really what they want to do and that they're happy with it. There's enough sadness and despair and anxiety and stress in this world already, and we're trying to, I guess, at least for me, do our part to have less of that and to have there be more joy. And that comes from listening to yourself and putting time and energy into what you really want.
Yeah, getting to know yourself and making the choice to be joyful, to find the happiness in life, because if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find it no matter what. There's always something to be grateful for, even on the days when it feels like there's nothing. If you look hard enough, there's always something to be grateful for.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Anything else on
No,
the
I
next
think
one?
we can move on to the next and final part of our workshop.
Wonderful. So let's move you back over here. Okay. There we go. So wonderful. So hopefully you can see us. The screen might be changing here in just a second for you. And I want you to, just before we get started on this visualization meditation, if you've never done a visualization meditation, what we want to do is we are going to place ourselves into these new and empowering beliefs, and we're going to place ourselves into the two categories that you selected with the higher number already. And what this helps us do, right? We've done all the exercises. Hopefully you wrote everything down. Writing everything down actually creates a different part of neuroplasticity, a part of our brain that activates. And again, we're trying to dive this really deep into the grooves of our brain. And so in order to be able to do that, one, we think about it. Hopefully you wrote it down because that helps dive it even deeper. And now what we want to do is make sure, imagine as if it's already happened. Because our brain doesn't know what the difference is between what's real and what's not. So these meditation, what we're going to do is we're just basically going to sit still. If you want to do this laying down, you can, given that it's most of our regular lives are standing or sitting. So hopefully you're doing this with your spine, either in a chair or on a couch or wherever you may be, but sitting up nice and tall. If you want to do this laying down, know that you can as well. Two things we're going to do just look at the categories of your life. That way I'm just going to say category 1 and category 2, and you know exactly which ones I'm talking about. And memorize the number that you're at. And then look at 2 of the empowering beliefs that you wrote. 2 that really resonate with you. 2 that when you read them, you go, wow, that I can feel my body changing. I can feel myself feeling more confident. I can feel myself feeling more peaceful. Whatever that causes an actual emotion for you, that's what we really want. So go ahead, I'll give you about a minute just to look at the categories. Look at the higher number that you selected. So again, right, what the next level is of that. So category, that higher number, and then pick out 2 empowering beliefs, 2 statements that you wrote. And if, again, you may do this with your eyes closed, If you need to open your eyes just to see what you wrote down, that's perfectly okay. All right. Take a good look at those, memorize them, and when you're ready, just find yourself in a nice, comfortable seat. Maybe lift up the spine a little bit more, relax through the shoulders, relax any tension in the face, around the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. Take a deep breath in. And with certainty, open your mouth and exhale. I'll take another one. Deeper breath in. And with that same certainty, as you exhale, just gently closing the eyes. Allowing yourself just to look back at how you were feeling when we finished our yin yoga class. To feeling really relaxed. To feeling really present in this moment. Noticing the sounds around you. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe you have other noises around you. Noticing if there's any smells. Noticing what you're touching right now. Maybe it's the chair, the floor. Noticing the sensations. Is it soft? Is it hard? Is the floor hot? Is it cold? What's the temperature in the room? And if you have your eyes closed, what color do you see? And then maybe there's anything you can taste. And all of that is just to come into this present moment. Feeling calm, feeling safe, feeling at peace. We're going to find our first category. And I want you to say, in this category, I am at, and then say your higher number. Do this all within your head. If you want to say it out loud, know that you can. But say it once again. Say it with a little bit more conviction, with a little bit more strength, with a little bit more feeling. In this category, I am at and the number. Find one of the empowering beliefs that really resonated to you, that really made you uplift yourself. Maybe it's an I statement, maybe it's an I am statement. Repeat it to yourself. Once again, feel yourself as if that category has already been lifted. How do you feel empowered by this new place that you are in? Maybe sensations come to the body. Maybe your breath gets a little bit deeper, a little bit more safe. Notice if any limiting beliefs came up. Repeat that empowering belief one more time and say, I am at this category and I am at that number. Repeat the empowering belief one more time. Say it with conviction. Say it with strength. Say it like it's already happened. Take a deep breath in, feeling certain, feeling proud of yourself for already accomplishing it. And take an open mouth exhale. Choosing your second category, and again, saying this to yourself. In this category, I am at, and the number you are at. Choosing your second empowering belief, and say that to yourself. Support yourself. Honor yourself, and knowing that you can grow. And knowing that you can push yourself to continue to grow. Because you are now clear on what you want, what you have to do, what your next step is. Once again, say the second category and tell yourself the number that you are at. And now the empowering belief, I am. And just soak that feeling in of having already accomplished it. Of feeling safe, of feeling at peace, of feeling excited for the work that you've done to get yourself there. Allow yourself to take one more deep breath in, really strength that's coming into your body, all that certainty, like it's already happened. And then open the mouth, exhale, let it go. One more deep breath in with both of those categories uplifted with the empowering beliefs as they've already happened. Deeper inhale. And exhale with conviction, with strength. Look open your eyes. We're going to lift up one hand. Just give yourself a little high five. Well done. You did it. Awesome, friends. So today, just so that we can recap, today we started off giving ourselves time in yin yoga. Right? Yin, as Nicole was explaining to us, comes from an entirely different lineage. It really allows us to relax, to hold these poses. It changes our entire physiology. We are activating into the meridians as well, tapping into the spring season of bloom, of regrowth, of new energy coming into not only our life, but really coming in from the ground up. So we're taking advantage to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Then we did the Wheel of Life, and what that was doing is just giving us a quick snapshot of where you currently are, how you are, and how fulfilled you are with those categories in your life. And noticing, okay, if I want to choose which two I want to focus on, and what the steps that I need to take in order for you to get there. So that was the Wheel of Life, and just know that maybe today it felt like, oh, that was really hard, or I didn't know how to do it, or maybe the categories, you're like, I don't know what I think about this category. Just know that you can change those, and just know that the more you do it, the easier it will get, and you can knock that exercise out in, honestly, in 5 minutes or less the next time you do it. And then lastly, we did the beliefs.
We transformed our limiting, well, first we wrote exactly what it was that we want to have without any obstacles of time or money. And then we saw what it was like if we actually embodied that goal and noticed what negative thoughts or what was coming up that was stopping us from getting there or believing that we could even get there. And we turned those beliefs into empowering beliefs. And so that way we can already address those negative thoughts that are in our mind. We can stop them there and create empowering beliefs that will help propel us into the future and to help us go forward with our dreams. And we can use this energy from spring and all this this renewal and the growth and the blooming, and we can jump in full-heartedly into the springtime with our new goals.
Wonderful. So as that comes to an end, just know that if you have any questions that might have just been outstanding, leave them down in the comments or put them into the live chat so we can see them now. We'll try to answer them in the moment. At the same time, we have to trust ourselves. The main thing that is going to happen is you need to find clarity. If you work with any coach, if you work with any therapist, what they really want to find out is where you are and where you want to go. That's going to be the main thing, because until we are clear on that picture of what it looks like or where we're trying to go, we don't know what the first step is going to be, right? Going back to that GPS, if I'm trying to go from where I am to the supermarket, I need to figure out which supermarket I'm going to go. But if I don't know where I'm starting, I'm just going to drive with no aim in sight and maybe hopefully try to pass the grocery store. So hopefully that sticks with you, that you need to know where you are. You have to decide what it is that you want, and it's a decision you make. And know that as you make choices, that decision might switch. And Nicole is a perfect example of that, right? With what she studied, and then she was like, I wanted to make a decision, I wanted to change that. So, and then we always have to continuously update our beliefs so that we are continuously telling ourselves who we really are, who I need to become in order for those progresses, for those milestones, in order for them to happen. From the bottom of my heart, and hopefully from the bottom of Nicole's as well, I hope you took out something from this. I hope clarity on what it is that you want and what's stopping you along the way for you to really move yourself forward. And from our mission here at Flow into Nature is for you to get to know yourself, to be yourself, and to choose happy. And happiness is a choice that you get to choose. I hope to see you very soon. Again, if you have any comments, any questions, if you feel like this really helped you, maybe send it to a friend or a family member that can also help with a little bit more clarity in their lives, and maybe you two can get together and talk about it afterwards, and just let us know how you feel right now, how this might have helped you, and if there's anything else that you might want to get a little bit more clarity on, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, and this is our first workshop, so please let us know what you think. Any feedback is really welcome, what you like, what you don't like, maybe anything at all. We would be really grateful for any feedback, and we hope to see you again on the next one. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye, friends.
Bye. Alrighty.